All right, welcome back to this track on Viva Insights here at Viva Explorers around the world, 24-hour event. And I'm going to talk about the practical approach to focus time in Viva Insights. And this is mind-blowing stuff. What I'm going to talk about today might change your life. Unless you're already practicing this, then it will just um, confirm your life. And yeah, so focus time is important. Viva Explorers, I'm part of this community group. My avatar is a Viva empath, and you're definitely going to see why that is, because my superpower is a tomato. And I'm not going to say anymore. You will understand at the end of the session, or maybe even before. So, focus time is time boxing. It has many words. Focus time, where you reach flow state, you time box an activity. The point is, you decide to do something, a task, an activity, and you continue to do it for a limited period of time. Then you take a break, and then you can do it multiple times, or maybe you reach your goal. That's time boxing. And time boxing is not something new. I want to share this book with you, the Pomodoro technique. And maybe you already recognize the tomato. Yes, exactly. This is my superpower. I am a time boxer, and I call it the Viva empath because I think one of the most empathic things I, as a leader, coworker, can share with my peers and the community is to teach people how to focus. I think it's a skill we need to relearn. It's a lost skill. It's a lost art of productivity because we are living in a world where dopamine is happening every 5 seconds. Like, I'm thinking you're probably already surfing your web, looking at your phone, checking emails, checking Teams at the same time already. And I haven't almost even started with my session. So this is how damaged we are. This methodology was conceived in the 80s. And now you're thinking, oh, yeah, that's probably like 10, 15 years ago. No, it's almost 40 years ago, people. Yeah. The 80s is like the 50s were in the 80s. That's what we're talking about. 30 years ago. 30 years. That's a lifetime, people, literally. And so Francesco Cirillo, he's from Italy. What he did was figuring out that time boxing is when stuff happens for me. And what did he do? Well, I need to have a timer. I need to know how long I need to focus. So I had this kitchen timer, and the kitchen timer. Let me show you in a larger image here. The kitchen timer, right? So I had the kitchen timer and set it for 25 minutes. And then it's ticking. I'm not sure if you're hearing the ticking. Can you hear it? Maybe. I'm not sure. Anyway, so as long as this is ticking, you should focus. You should not go off and do anything else. What this book also talks about is that every time you want to distract yourself, which is like every 5 seconds today, you should just note it down. I want to distract myself with this, but I'm not going to do it. And then you can take out a report on it to see how distracted you are. I don't do that, but you can do that. I recommend reading about this technique. And when the time hits, like, oh, I want to get a coffee. No, it's less than 5 minutes left, people. You can do this. But when it rings, I'm entitled to take a break. I can take as many long break I want because I've been focusing for 25 minutes. The point is, It takes between 7 and 21 minutes to reach the flow state. I'm going to talk more about that later. So this was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's a long time, people. Also want to mention this book, Deep Work by Cal Newport. He talks about exactly the same thing. In order to get things done, you need to do time boxing. You need to have a limited set of time where you're going to do a task and then concentrate on doing that task. And he has a whole book on it. I recommend reading it. I don't recommend everything he says. I don't agree. I agree maybe with the philosophy, but not that you should have phone meetings in the morning and the afternoon. That's what he talks about. That feels more like the 1920s or something like that. Seriously. Yeah, I don't have that kind of work day where I can have like a phone meeting. So he takes it way too far, but still a lot of the things he says is very interesting. So recommend reading that book or getting that book on Audible. And then getting things done. Getting things done. This book, for instance, came out in 2016, actually, but this book came out in 2001, I mean. Getting Things Done by David Allen. Maybe you heard about it, maybe you haven't, or and I'm going to share my screen again now, right? So this was the book by Cal Newport, and this is the book by David Allen. The point is that the Getting Things Done is a whole productivity methodology around stress-free productivity. I think this is highly relevant today because I attended an HR conference in Norway the other week actually, where they talked about techno stress. So this is hyper relevant for what we do. And he talks about you should capture to the same place all the time. You should process, and when you're getting things done, you should time box. He says the same thing, and he puts it in a larger context. So what I'm trying to say here is that the thinking has been there for a long time, but it has only been for those who read the book and took action on it. So that's like 1% of the population, maybe not the population even, of the amount of information workers we have. Like I think 1% are doing this today. That's my numbers. Don't quote me on that, but that's like prove me wrong. Fine. If you can find a study that proves me wrong, I would love that. So what the thing is though, what blows my mind. This blows my mind. It's now built into Microsoft 365 in Teams through Viva Insights. I don't think people realize how big a deal this is because they don't know the philosophy of time boxing. So I'm going to teach you how to time box during this session. I'm going to show you which tools you can use, both in Viva Insights, and I'm going to show you some super advanced tools as well. This is what it looks like. So in Viva Insights, you have the ability to go to settings, and then you go to protect time. And then you have the ability to configure focus time. And everyone should do this, configure focus time. And when you are configuring this, you have different opportunities. People typically say to me, my colleagues does not respect my focus time. And I think that's very probable that may happen, that they don't respect your focus time because you're scheduling focus time for 4 hours every day. No one is focusing that hard for 4 hours every single day. Of course, they're going to break through your focus time. So schedule 1 hour of deep work, focus time, time boxing. I'm not saying you shouldn't do other things, but you are interruptible. There's a difference between time boxing and being interruptible. So do 1 hour. Don't be a presence liar. Next is, when do you want to have your focus times? I typically do it in the morning. Mornings are where I want to plan my day, build out my day in to-do. That is, I'm going to take, are there any burning actions I need to prioritize today? Or what do I need to prioritize today? What do I want to get done? That works for me. But I also heard that people are night owls. They're not that productive in the morning, and they wake up at 10, and then that's when meeting starts happening. So they want to do this in the afternoon and plan their next day instead, or get things done at the end of the day, because then they know also what's burning from today, which I need to have done by tomorrow, for instance. So that's also an option. So choose when you want to have it happen. Next is, what time do you want me to schedule this in? And 8 a.m. is too soon, actually. Even though I'm in the morning, 8 a.m. is too soon. So I try to do it 8:30 or 9. That's where I want to do it. So you can define that here based on your morning or afternoon. And then you might say, I don't want a notification about this. I just want it to be in my calendar, because this setting will schedule a focus time in your calendar. So you have it in your calendar, which is magical. It is actually magical. I'm going to show you why. But if you're not using the notification, you are missing out on maybe the biggest, I won't say biggest anymore because of Copilot. I would say maybe one of the most important changes for you personally in your productive life. One of the biggest. And this is what I'm talking about. Oops, I went a bit too far. This is what I'm talking about, people. This is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Let me enhance this. I'm going to add myself back to this. It's such a big deal. And I'm out of words. This is how important this is. Do you remember we have been talking about this collectively since the 80s? No one is doing this, maybe 1%. Now everyone can do it. You don't have to read the book in order to get a timer for deep work. I think it's the first time in the history of productivity that Microsoft is building into the tool, not just access to the tools and the capabilities, but helping organizations, individuals to work smart in the platform. I don't know who implemented this at Microsoft, but thank you very much. So you have a timer here. You set off the time. This is for 2 hours. So apparently I had a 2-hour focus time. And you want to have breaks. The point is, you focus, you have breaks, and you focus. That's what we're talking about. And then there's one more thing I want to show you here. Would you like to silence Teams chat notifications? And this is the wrong choice. Absolutely the wrong choice. You should mute notifications. So what's going to happen now? What's going to happen? Let's go back to the previous picture. Look at this. During that time, you go into Do Not Disturb. But it's not just Do Not Disturb. It's your status is set to focusing. So it's Do Not Disturb, focusing. You're telling your colleagues, yes, I'm unavailable. No, I'm not in a call. I am doing time boxing. That is why you shouldn't plan this out for 4 hours, because no one is that unavailable. Do 1 hour and be very specific that I am focusing during my focus time. We need to talk about this. So, but this is a magical custom present state in Teams. I have a blog post on this, and it is by far the most visited blog post on my blog. I have over 2 million views, and this blog post is the far most visited. And I think I have like 200 hits every single day on this. How can I find the focus mode in Teams, or custom presence mode in Teams? This is what happens. And now we are talking, because it's not just that it is a focus mode and a custom present state and you are in do not disturb, but automatically you become available again. And that is what this timer is about, to understand when you should become available again, when it's okay to be available. That is what this timer is about. And yeah, so this is so important. Look at this. Do not disturb, focusing, built into the platform. And the timer is also built into the platform. You set the timer, and part of entering a time boxing state, a focus state, is to have the routine of starting, getting started with your focus mode, having a routine for this. So it's not just for being cute, it is for having an actual activity happening. So I just want to talk about more about this, because in order to succeed with focus mode in Teams, you need to understand the philosophy behind it. So this is a reason to start talking about it. You don't have to talk about it like I do either, being so specific with the Pomodoro technique. Just teach them that, hey, you should focus for 25 minutes, then take a break, then refocus. The point is, the way I use it to jumpstart productivity. And the goal is to induce the flow state. What is the flow state? The flow state is the time when you forget about time, you forget about eating, you forget about drinking, you forget about going to the bathroom, and suddenly time has accelerated for you. It takes about 7 to 21 minutes to reach the flow state, but that is when you are productive. This is where you can wrap your head around a difficult problem. This is when you can produce that document. This is when you get so much done. Answer that difficult message in Teams, or even a difficult email, where suddenly you find out that I thought this would take me 2 days. It just maybe I'm exaggerating right now, but I thought this would take me like 2 hours to complete. I did it in 10 minutes. And the problem is that if you're not conscious about this, if you never reach the flow state, because you're going to distract yourself every 15 seconds or every minute, every 3 minutes, you will never reach the flow state. You're always surfing around, like not doing deep work, and you're not really getting anything done, and you never have time to commit to a larger activity, which means that something that should have taken 30 minutes takes a whole week. Have you had that before? That yeah, this took me only 30 minutes when I finally found time to sit down with it. But I should have delivered this on Monday. Now it's Friday, because I've been looking at it and I distracted myself and then had to go to a meeting. That is what we want to avoid. So during a session, and this is important, during a focus session in Teams, when you want to distract yourself, you should not distract yourself. They should not distract themselves. So you are your worst enemy. If you thought it was your colleagues, that's wrong. It's you who is the problem. So yeah. If you want to go to Facebook, it's a no. Twitter, That's a no. LinkedIn, something may have happened on LinkedIn. No, because this one is still ticking, right? It's still ticking. And it's less than 10 minutes left. Less than 10 minutes left. But what about Instagram then? No, it's a no. But Reddit, that needs, no. That there might have happened something in the news. But that's a no because it's only 5 minutes left. You forgot to get a coffee, tea, or water. Too bad. The moment you get up to do that, you're breaking the flow state. So it's a no. You can wait. It's less than 4 minutes left. You can do this. The other news sites with almost the same news as the first news site, no. It can wait. There might be something on my phone that might be happening here. No. It's only 2 minutes left, and those 2 minutes feels like an eternity, but they are so important to complete. But TikTok, though, that needs to be okay. Whatever you do, don't go on TikTok because then days disappears apparently. So don't distract yourself. And this is what the Pomodoro technique is all about. It's all about single tasking, focusing on one thing, and then don't distract yourself by going to social media, going to you might be need to be in Outlook, but that's a very conscious specific thing, or you need to be in Teams. That's a very conscious specific thing. But also if you need to go and look something up on the web, you can do that. Absolutely. But you shouldn't get distracted by YouTube or social media and so on. You should be very like, I'm not going to go to social media. I'm not going to go to social media. I'm not going to go to social media. But then there was a snap. You understand the struggle? So, but the moment this rings, let me have a proper ring. Then you can do whatever you want. Then you can do whatever you want. Get up, get a coffee, indulge yourself in social media. You can walk up to your colleagues and start chatting, go by the water cooler. You are entitled. And then you refocus for your next, or the way I use it to jumpstart productivity, which means that I might keep going if I can. But the thing is that I'm available. I know that if I want to, I can go on social media, but now I am in the flow state and I just want to continue. So that's the way I do it, because if I get to do one of these sessions, one of these 20 minutes, then during a workday, that's a win, huge win for me. Because the rest of the day, I am in meetings, I am doing other things, I am doing synchronous work with my colleagues, so I need to be there. If I do asynchronous work, that's when I do time boxing. Use the tools available. Turns out that music can help you reach the flow state faster. So the flow state is not something, it is fact. We do have something in us which is called the flow state. And you can reach it faster by listening to the correct music. What kind of music should you listen to? Well, if you heard that Bach and Beethoven was good for study, it is entirely correct, because they have beats per minute between 60 and 80, which means that that induces the flow state and induces alpha waves in your brain, which makes you more subtle to focus. Make sure that you're not listening to new music. Make sure you're not listening to the radio. Make sure you're not listening to something with lyrics. If you have to listen to something with lyrics, don't listen to music you have listened to for your entire life, because then you're not actually listening anymore. And so, yeah, use the correct type of music. The correct type of music for me is this, which I collected in a Spotify playlist. Search for walls spiral for focus work. Actually, I have 83 likes on Spotify. I think that's kind of cool. Here I have collected music that works for me. Not necessarily between 60 and 80 beats per minute, but it is soundtracks, it is music from games and so on, which has the spiraling effect of spiraling me into the focus mode. But it is within that range that induces the focus mode. So use that. Use a proper headset for focus as well. Make sure it's Teams certified, so you don't have to switch a headset when you need to jump in a meeting because you forgot to go into the meeting because you were focusing and you forgot about time, and suddenly it's 5 minutes past the hour and the meeting started 5 minutes ago. So that might happen. And then you will get that feedback. If you use this, you will get the feedback from Viva Insights, where you will be able to see that, hey, 4 out of 4 days. That's fantastic. Why doesn't it say 5? Well, it's because we have no meeting Friday. So it's not that important to do it that day for me because that's a focus day in itself. But there's one more thing here. There's one more thing. This is the timer, right? The focus session. You have a timer, but then it also shows you tasks. And this is where it says that I will show you tasks from Microsoft To Do. If you are not using Microsoft To Do to manage your tasks, you're missing this synergy. So built into the platform, without you having done anything, it will present you with the most important tasks in your life that day. It is so important to understand how the platform is built like that. So this is the calendar event you will get. It is magical. You can copy it and it will work, but you can never create it yourself for some reason, which means that you need to use this calendar event in order to get the focus mode in Teams. So the tasks are important. And I created a concept called digital well-being, or rather digital HMS. How we can succeed with mastering the technology we use every day. And it's all about reducing the techno stress. And I believe that timeboxing and the Pomodoro technique, focus time through Viva Insights, that is, it is such an important part of digital well-being. Succeeding with this, you will become a tad more happy in your life. But you also see I have a capture process here. And this is also like, what am I going to focus on when I'm focusing? If you're not structured about like your tasks, you might be scheduling time to focus on the wrong thing. And that is also a challenge, because if you are not confident that the thing you're going to spend the next 20 minutes on is the most important thing for you, you will then go back and keep checking your emails and Teams messages to see if anything is burning, because you're not sure if what you are prioritizing right now is the most important thing for you. So and this is taken straight out of the book of Getting Things Done, in order to collect everything in the same bin. Your bin is Microsoft To Do. And when you have all your tasks there, then it will be easier for you to find out what is the most important thing that lifts the most weight off my shoulders right now, which I should do the next 20 minutes, and only that. So it's not enough to focus. You also need to know what you're focusing on in order to have that confidence. So I just want to show you how I do one capture. I will show you. So this is a story I typically talk about. So my colleague Leslie Crook, she wants me to review a document. The thing is, though, I was not available at that time, but I checked Teams and I saw, oh yeah, I got a message, I have an action. And the thing is, though, I was about to walk into a conference meeting, or I was going into a workshop, a physical workshop even. So any second now, someone will talk to me and I will forget all about this. What do I do? And this, if you don't know about this is kind of mind-blowing. You can go to the three-dotted line. This works on mobile, web, and Mac, Windows, tablet, everywhere. You go to the three-dotted menu and you scroll down to create task. When that task gets created, you can choose where to create it. You should never think about where you should store your task, by the way. It should always go into tasks in To-Do, even though you want to sort it elsewhere, but that's what you do later when you're processing your tasks. There's a difference between capturing and processing. The thing is, though, this is important for me. So when I see it in To-Do, I will star it, which makes it important. And I will get a suggestion of doing that. So when I do my virtual commute or I do my focus time, it will highlight this for me. And here you see the task is reminding me of doing it, because it turns out I forgot all about this. But I did my virtual commute the day after during my focus time, or I do it at the end of the day. And that is where I got reminded about this task. I also, apparently I thought about this a bit before I forgot it, because I added some actions as well. I broke it down into some actions. And people, then I get the link back to the Teams message. So when I'm working and focusing, I'm doing my actions and so on, I need to go back and update Teams and say, hey, yeah, I'm done this right now. Had a focus session. I should actually get a medal for doing this. But I don't remember where we talked about this. No worries. You will get the link back to the conversation and you can update your colleagues in context. So this is kind of the process. If you do the legwork before, it gets easier for you to focus when you have a focus session. So when you are focusing and what to focus on, it is about the process and execute part of my digital well-being Venn diagram. It's about having the tasks in To-Do in list groups and lists, making sure you prioritize those who are important for you, because some of them are just information that you want to keep for later. You don't have to prioritize them. You will find them again later. And then you put them on My Day in the morning. When you are to focus, you are focusing on the most important thing of the most important things you have. And this includes email, it includes planner tasks, and everything you capture to tasks. So Viva Insights is the engine for doing this, highlighting it through virtual commute, your focus time, and so on. And then you get things done. You check off everything you do. So what does that look like? It's quite beautiful, actually. So here I have my day. So when I do a focus session in Teams, I go to To-Do. Yes, you get the Teams app in Teams as well. I prefer to use an external app like the To-Do app. And you can have it on your mobile. You can have it as in the web browser and so on. So this is me actually. I'm going to do a focus session right now on everything that is important for me. I will just do all these things because some of them takes 1 minute, some of them takes 5 minutes, some of them takes much longer time. So I need to break them down into shorter actions. The point is, though, I'm not going to distract myself with social media or reading emails or getting a coffee or looking out the window. And this is what it looks like. It's very beautiful. Fantastically beautiful. Let me and that video crashed, of course, right? That's what happened. Here we go. It's beautiful. You go to the project. Oh yeah, I called that colleague. That's fine. I installed Visio, getting things done here. I contacted the customer. That's done. And then you need to keep sound on for this. So you get the dings, because those are the dopamine rushes you are looking for. And here's something crazy happens. I'm adding, look at this. I'm adding a new task to my today list. And this is because I just remembered that, oh, I needed to do this as well. I will add it as a task right then and there, and I will complete it. It's beautiful, because then I get the report at the end of the day of everything I got done as well. So here you see that there are some here that are not starred, but they're still part of my day. That is me brain dumping at the beginning of the day. I'm brain dumping what I need to do today in my head, which I keep in a list in my head, which is not good. So I'm brain dumping it, and I'm going to process it today. Either I'm going to do something about it, break it down into actions, or I'm going to complete it. But it's important for me to do that. I don't have to keep it in the back of my head. I don't have to think about it, because I know where I find it again. I find it on tasks. I find it under my day. So this is what I got to do during this focus session. And you might say, yeah, you didn't get to do a lot. Well, I got done as much as I could. I was focusing for 20 minutes. I got some serious stuff done here. And it's so much better than to procrastinate it for the evening or later this week. What I found is that I had 30 minutes before a meeting. Just came off a meeting. I didn't have any reporting actions after that meeting, but I had 30 minutes. What should I spend those 30 minutes on? I should definitely run a Pomodoro, do a focus session. And you can do that as well in Viva Insights, where you can jumpstart a session. Let me show you here. By going into Viva Insights, I can jumpstart such a session under well-being. I can see here, enter focus mode. So you can even jumpstart this. You get your tasks, you get your mindfulness break, even. You can even do a body scan, like during the mind. I never do this though. I try to do it as part of virtual commute. But when I'm taking a break, I'm going to indulge myself in social media and everything dopamine rushing thing I can do. And this is not dopamine. Yeah, doesn't work for me. But here I see, and I'm going to do 30 minutes. I'm going to do a break, and break period should be, so 10-minute break, which means the focus period will be 15 minutes. That's fine. And if I want more, I can change that to 15 or 30. I think this is kind of limiting though. I would like to see 20 minutes here, 25 minutes. But it's going to be one break. It's going to be beautiful. And I'm going to start the focus. The problem, though, I won't get into focus mode, because that's a calendar event. So it's not perfect. But the art of what you can do then as an option, you start a timer, you go in here, and you set available, go to duration, you go to do not disturb, and you're going to set it for 30 minutes and done. Now you are almost there, but you can jumpstart this process. So it's all about jumpstarting the process. What kind of action should I look at? Definitely my to-do list. So this is the practical approach to focus time in Viva Insights. But I'm not done. Bear with me here, because I have some. Now we are going into the bonus content. There are 2 more timers we need to talk about for this. So if I go out of my presentation, I'm actually going to run a demo for you. I'm going to open the clock app. And I'm going to bring it over to this screen. The thing is, you have a focus timer in the clock app as well, which integrates with tasks. And it even integrates with Spotify. So here you see, I recommend this podcast, by the way, on change management. Here you see my playlist, Wall Spiral. So here you can actually set 20-25 minutes. You can start a focusing session, and it will let you know how many you do. So it keeps a score here. So when I start a focus session, I recommend that you start with 10 minutes if you haven't done this before. If you haven't done this before, start with 10 minutes. Don't do 25 minutes. It seems like an eternity, and it is actually a muscle that needs to be trained. If you haven't trained on doing this, then you will fail. I guarantee it. So start with 10 minutes, succeed, then do 12 minutes, succeed with that, 15 minutes, succeed with that. Keep it at 15 minutes maybe for a while, and then work yourself up to 25 minutes. I've been doing this for 10 years. I still need these tools in order to induce the flow state, but I can go on for 25 minutes. I'm that good. 25 minutes of focus. That's how good I am. But you get this timer again. Do you see that it's quite similar? There's one more thing which happens here. I'm not sure if you noticed it. Am I able to stop this? I want to pause this. I want to... okay. You didn't... I don't think you noticed it. But look at this. I will start it again. I will start... Did you see it? I will pause it. Did you see it? I don't think you saw it. This is what I'm talking about. I don't think I have Zoom it on my computer. Do you see this unread message in Teams? When I start it, goes away. When I stop it, comes back. When I start it, goes away. When I stop it, comes back. Do you understand how important this is? That you're not getting distracted by seeing there's something happening in email, in Teams, and so on. Removing the notification banners for your apps, for all your apps, not just that. Everything I say is with capital letters and exclamation mark, but it is kind of a big deal. So if you go to settings here, you can go to focus periods. You can go to notifications, change notification settings. And you can go to focus. Here, you can decide what's going to happen. You can set the default duration, 15 minutes, I think. Or you can even start it from here. That's kind of crazy. But this is going to happen. Your Windows machine will go to Do Not Disturb. Your Windows machine will stop flashing applications. This is also kind of a very distracting, disruptive thing. So even though you remove the badges, the notification badges from your apps, when someone talks to you, the app goes like this. There's someone that wants to talk to you. Something is happening in the app. Do you want to look at it? No? Okay, I will just keep flashing then. Like seriously. And then you need to click on it in order to remove it. This is hide flashing on taskbar apps. Yes, please, always. And so this is actually a very good timer. I do prefer using it in Viva Insights though, because then you get then I'm signaling my peers that I am focusing. So I'm doing deep work right now. And yeah, what you could do though, you can do the best of everything. If you want to jumpstart this, right? You go in here, start the timer. You go in here and you put yourself on a duration. Maybe you don't have to start a timer here, but then you get an easy access to tasks, but you also do that in the clock. So maybe you want to use the clock and the duration here. But then Viva Insights doesn't know that you're doing this, so you're not getting that feedback. I have given this feedback to the Microsoft product groups that, the Windows group and the Viva Insights group. Do you ever talk together? No? Okay. How can I help you help me? Can you please talk together? So when I start a either whatever, if I started in the clock app, I'm fine with that. Also add the focusing session and a calendar event. Thank you. Because yeah, the APIs are there. It should be possible, and that would be. I think we are 95% there with the built-in timers. If we get the Windows team and the Viva Insights team to talk together, I think we will usher in a new era of productivity. That's how big a deal this is. We can teach everyone, and everyone can. I think then all the productivity masters out there, those who have built incredible good systems in order to stay productive, and yeah, I go into like Lotus position when I'm productive. It's like and I like I shut down everything. I like actually go to this computer which is not connected to the internet even. That's how productive I am. Now everyone can do that. That's the point with democratizing working smart in Microsoft 365. But there's one more thing. Let me reset this status. Okay, so if you're still here in this session, it means that you are above average interested in focus time in Teams. So I'm going to gift you with the best focusing tool which is ever made by man, which I created myself. You might have seen that I have this Pomodoro app here in my taskbar. If I click on that, my hacker console opens up, and I'm going to hack productivity. I already done it. So the moment I put in 10 minutes here, let's enter. Things are happening. Let me turn stuff off. Hiding badges on taskbar. Boom, did you see that? Opening your specified Spotify playlist. Yep, it did. Boom, here it is. If this then that, mute triggered, invoked successfully. What does that mean, people? Well, I have expanded my focus timer to my phone. What does that mean? I use my phone on vibrate all the time. This will put my phone on silent for the duration of this sprint. So if someone is calling me, they will not be blocked, but it won't be vibrating. If someone is sending a Snapchat to me, it will not be vibrating because that's my dopamine vibration, right? And if it vibrates more than 3 times, I have to take a look. Something might have happened here, and then I see it's just the boys the gang who is talking about nothing important at all on Snapchat, right? And it's processing focus time in my calendar and setting Teams to focusing state. What? Oh, it didn't work. Of course it didn't work. But it worked though. Let's look at my calendar. It did work. but it didn't work. It created a focus time in my calendar for today. Do you see this? And this should also change my, do I reset here? It should change my focus to not just don't disturb, but don't disturb focusing. It works like always, but not in demo. Of course, it doesn't work in demo. This is not my fault though. It's just service being slow. But look at this. I'm doing the best of both worlds here. So I solved Microsoft problem. The point is though, I have actually spent way too long getting this to work. And now you're thinking, how can I partake in this fantastic tool you have? Well, it's available on the internet. So I will just go here and on YouTube, actually, I think you start. Here I have a playlist called Microsoft 365 Productivity. And if you scroll down here, you will not find it, actually. It's actually in the other playlist called Pomodoro Time, which I did together with Dux Raymond Sai and Lorian Strand. And here I have the video. It's actually seen 6,000 times. It is it's recorded 2 years ago, but I haven't changed anything in the past 2 years. So I go through how to set it up, 15 minutes, and I also have a link to the blog posts and link for you to download get the playlist and download the script as well. And you can set this up for yourself. I go through how to set it up in if this and then that. And if you really, really want to, and I guess if you are at the end of this session, you definitely are interested. So you're welcome. Right. Where's my PowerPoint? There it is. So yeah, that was what I wanted to talk about. So go to my YouTube channel and youtube.com/Ståle Hansen. This is part of my digital well-being as well. And hopefully you understand that now we can do time boxing within the organization. I recommend that you talk about it and talk about the Pomodoro technique with your peers and help everyone do time boxing. One time box per week, 120-minute Pomodoro focus session per week is more than enough. It's so much more than not doing it. I want to leave you with this. The rate at which time passes depends on your frame of reference. Albert Einstein regarding the theory of relativity. And this is exactly what this is. There's a big difference in doing a Pomodoro for 20 minutes and doing dopamine rush for 20 minutes, or just looking into your mailbox and looking into things and saying, oh yeah, I don't have time to dive into this. So let's shelve that and double click on it later. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day and follow us for the next session as well.